It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey folks, today I wanted to show you a little card game that was published by Amigo that's called 23. This little card game just comes with a few cards, a few tokens, and that's it. It's a very straightforward little game, really simple graphics. It's basically cards with numbers and chips, that's what you get. But it makes for an interesting package. Let me show you how the game works. I'm going to give you an overview and then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think of this little number. This is what the game looks like set up for 3 players. Everyone had got 15 cards, as I said, and so there's some that were set aside, but you do have to make sure that someone was dealt the number 1. And so this player was dealt the number 1. And then, before we start going, each player will take a look at their hand, and they are going to get rid of 3 cards. So you're really playing with 12. And I'm just going to randomly take 3 out, though I don't recommend you do that in the game, because you're going to do very poorly. And so 3 are out. There we go. Then the player who has the number 1 will be the start player, and they're going to play the number 1 to a common discard pile. Then it's the next player's turn. On your turn, you have a few different options. You are trying to get rid of your hands, and you are trying to empty your hand of cards, avoiding these purple chips, as I said. And so, if you have either the same number that's on top of the discard pile, or 1 higher, you can play that card freely. So this player could discard the 2, no problem. If you have multiples of the same card, let's say 18 is what's on top, and this player has 2 19s, they can play both of them without a penalty. However, if you want to play to the pile and you have to skip numbers, then you have to take a chip for every number you skipped. So if I'm playing the 4 on the 1, then I have to take 3 of these purple chips. Again, these are bad. So this player would take 3 of those, and that would be their turn, and it would be the next player's turn. So that's your first option, playing 1 or more cards, as long as they're the same number, to the discard pile, trying to, again, empty your hand. Second option, you can take a single chip and wait. You will not play. You're going to let it go around again one more time, and hopefully when it comes back around to you, then you have some numbers you'll be able to play at that point. Third option is you can take 2 of the purple chips and make the next person play. So they'll have to play to the pile here with a couple of things that they might be able to do, a couple of tricks that they might be able to do. I'll get to those in a second. And then lastly, your last option is you can simply pass the rest of the hand. So let's say I've played all of these already to the pile. The last option is you can simply pass for the rest of the hand, and you're going to take 1 chip for every card that you've still got in your hand. So that's 5. I would take 5 of those purples, but I'm out. I'm done with this hand. The whole game is 2 hands, by the way. So at this point you might be asking, what are the green chips? Well, the green chips, at the end of the game, for everyone you still have, you're going to get rid of 2 of these purple chips. So they're good. They're basically plus 2 points. However, during the game, you can discard 1 or more to change the number on top of the pile up or down by up to 5. If you discard 2, up or down by up to 10. And so they give you some flexibility. And so if I was playing, this person could play here, then this player would take a look at their hand. They might play this one, let's say, and take a chip. I'm going to put these back, because I was just explaining the game there. And then I'll take a look at this hand. This player could play, ooh, the 5, okay, perfect. We're back to this player. And let's say they don't want to be stuck later on with the 3 and the 4, so they could spend a chip and say, it's a 3. I'm bringing it back down by 2 so that they can play the 3. And that's the new number on top of the pile. If you are, the round is going to be over either when everyone's out, meaning they have a few cards left in their hand and then go, I'm just going to pass and take some of these, 1 per card. Or if you're able to play all the cards, all 12 cards, and if you're able to pull that off, you even get a little bonus where you can put 3 of these purple chips back in the middle. You can get rid of them. We continue doing that all the way around till everybody's passed or played them all. Then Everyone keeps their purple chips. Everyone keeps any green chips they have not played. We shuffle up, we deal again. Whoever got the number 1 starts again. We play a whole other hand. And at the end of that hand, whoever has the best score, again, these are -1s, and these are +2, so you can just get rid of 2 of these if you still have it. At that point, whoever has the best score, the fewest of these, is the winner of the game 23. 23 is a really interesting little game. I am a huge fan of it, and I think it just makes for an awesome filler game. The main complaint I have, and I've heard from my players, is that the game is not really intuitive. It's a little bit weird, and it takes a little bit for people to get it. You know, it doesn't quite click right away. But once that does click, then everything fires for me on all cylinders. I love that it's a very short game. You play 2 rounds, boom, you're done. A lot of games would have you play 1 round per player, or would have you play whatever. This is good. Twice, boom, done. Great. I love it. It's the right length for how simple the game is. The strategy is interesting, and again, while not immediately apparent, there are choices there in what you discard, when you pass and take a single chip and let it go around, when you take 2 chips and make the next person play, which is probably the hardest choice to figure out when to make and make correctly. And again, I mean, it just really works for me. I think 23 is going to be one of those little games that sticks around for me for a long time. Whenever I'm grabbing a few fillers and throwing them in a bag to go over to a friend's or something, this is going to be something near the top of that list. If that sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend you check out this little card game from Amigo 23. It's awesome.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.